What if I told you that understanding beauty can expand your consciousness and raise your frequency? But what is beauty anyway? Welcome back to Ayurveda Universe. Today we are opening the series in the topic of beauty. It's a very deep topic that I cannot just cover in one video, so these series are meant to help you expand your consciousness through beauty, help you create more beauty into the world, and help you align with higher frequencies, because understanding beauty helps you raise your frequency, helps you become a better version of yourself, and helps you to become the catalyst of bigger changes in this world, helps you to become the person who helps elevate the frequency of the entire world. So I'm not here today to be the guru that points out what is beautiful and what is not, because beauty can only be discovered at the level you've been able to discover yourself. So make sure you stick to the end, because we're going to cover how to identify beauty and all the means through which we identify beauty, the importance of them, and how you can use and why you should use beauty to raise your frequency and use it as a tool for personal growth, which is so powerful if you use it intentionally. First of all, it's important to start with identifying what are the means of perceiving beauty. And I like to use the word perceive because it's beyond our eyes of seeing. I've also been very fortunate to meet and talk with people who are vision impaired, and I have discovered that even though they cannot see the world and what we used to attribute as part of the beauty of the world, the things that we see, the level at which they feel and understand the world is insanely deep. And we have that capacity as well. We just forget about it and we get very focus more about the things that we see. So I like to use perceive just to train my mind already that I don't see things only. Beauty and the way I perceive the world is beyond my sight. It's more than that. So I invite you as well to change your way of change your vocabulary from seeing beauty to perceiving beauty. So what are the means through which we perceive beauty? We perceive beauty through our eyes, of course, or vision. We perceive it through our hearing. We can perceive it through our emotions, through our feelings, through energy. And if you don't know what I mean through energy, stick with this channel. Eventually you will discover and you will learn to sense the energy, and you will unlock your ability of being very energetically intelligent. So don't rush things, just stick through and subscribe to the channel. This way you're not going to miss any video that will help you to elevate your frequency and help you to learn how to be energetically intelligent. And our touch, our sense, we can perceive beauty through touch and the sense, which is also kind of related to our emotions, but this is a more complicated topic. We're not going to dive that deep in today's video on that. Now, after the means through which we perceive the beauty, there's also the factors that influence our perception of beauty. So depending on these factors, using the same means of perceiving beauty, we see it in different ways, or we may see beauty or we may not. So what are the factors that really strongly influence our ability to perceive beauty? That is environment. My favorite example is through all the scenarios where aliens, when humans meet aliens, we perceive aliens as ugly, though for aliens we might be ugly, right? So because of the environment that we grew in and the necessities that we have within the environment that we grew in, the things that we're used to know and are familiar to us, we may perceive something that is outside of our comfort zone, something that is unknown, we may perceive it as ugly, or we may not. That also depends on other factor as our emotions and ego, our emotional intelligence. It also depends again on our ability to sense energy. So it kind of ties together with the means. So energy is a mean through which we perceive beauty, but our ability to sense energy is a factor that contributes whether we perceive it well or not, or how we perceive beauty. Another factor is hormones. Also, did I mention ego? This symmetry is also a huge factor that determines how we perceive beauty. My favorite example in it is the well-known golden ratio. We can find the golden ratio in everything in nature, and even ancient, our ancestors have been using subconsciously the golden ratio to create symmetrical tools or arts or anything that represented beauty for them. Another factor is our beliefs and culture, which ties up with the environment. The experiences that you had in life also influence your ability to see beauty. There is way more, and we can go super deep forever in that, but these are the main, because everything else kind of ties back to these main ones that we just mentioned. So when you combine all these tools and factors and really look at it as an ensemble, it's easier to understand how we perceive beauty and why we perceive beauty, and it's easier to start expanding your ability to perceive beauty. Here's a very beautiful example. Let's take an orchestra, and let's suppose that every single instrument in that orchestra is made by the best masters in the world. They produce the best sounds a human can make an instrument to produce. We also have the best artists playing, the best musicians playing those instruments. And we have the best conductor that is harmonizing, conducting this whole orchestra. There is a beautiful song, everybody's following the same song, yet we're not going to perceive it beautiful if it's out of alignment, if it's all over the place and all the sounds are just clashing, even though each sound, each instrument individually produces an amazing sound, and it's singing it correctly, it's playing it correctly, the notes. But if they're not harmonized, if they're not balanced, well, we're not gonna see it as beautiful, we're not gonna perceive it as beautiful. Then let's say that in one scenario, the musicians in the orchestra were just very technical and playing everything's very perfect, very in harmony, everything good technically. The performance was perfect, but they haven't put their soul, they haven't put their expression into it. We'll be able to feel it. And when we compare it with a different scenario where the musicians have put their soul into it, they really have put all their energy into the performance, we're going to see that performance more beautiful, because there's more for our means of perceiving beauty to feast on. So this is a very good example that the ability to perceive beauty is a combination of all the senses and all the factors working together well. So beauty is harmony, and our ability to see this harmony depends on how much we're aware of those factors, how we work with those factors and with these tools. Did you notice? Whether you can perceive it or not, beauty is there, and you can increase and train your ability to perceive it and see more of it. It's like a muscle. I loved saying everything, that anything is a muscle, not just our physical muscles. Our consciousness, our ability to perceive beauty, for example, that's what we're talking here about, is a muscle. And that helps with our personal development, and that's where we're going into the next. So how on earth does your ability to perceive beauty has anything to do with your personal growth? And why does your ability to perceive beauty affect your frequency? The state, the frequency, the energetic state that you're in. Well, that's what we're going to talk about right now. Let's say, for example, you meet somebody who sees, well, let's say this, oh, such a synchronicity. This cup says, hello, beautiful. So let's say, for example, I think this cup is absolutely beautiful. And you look at it and you're like, well, maybe you think it's ugly. Maybe you think, well, there is nothing special about this cup. Why would I think it's beautiful? You have two choices from here. Just keep thinking that I'm a weirdo, thinking that this cup is so freaking beautiful. Or you have the choice to start expanding your perception and consciousness. And if you choose the second, which I invite you to, here is what happens. You would question yourself. Well, why does Illyris think that this cup, that's such a plain white cup with a butterfly and says beautiful, maybe she likes it because it's beautiful? Good. That's a good question. You're already growing. You're expanding, right? You're not shooting to one thing like, if this is ugly, I don't like it, whatever, goodbye. You could ask yourself that, maybe because it says beautiful. Or maybe there is something about this cup that I don't see, that Illyris sees, and it makes it beautiful. What is this? I wonder. You might think you found it. You might not. You can only ask me. So you can always ask a person. And I love asking people what they find beautiful and why. Not to judge. Always approach things from a place of not judgment, from a place of curiosity. This is how you grow. This is how you expand. So you would then ask me, well, Illyri, why do you think this cup is beautiful? And I would tell you that, and I now challenge you. I'm going to tell you now why I find this cup beautiful. And I challenge you to identify the means through which I see this cup as beautiful. And I challenge you to identify the factors that have influenced me to see this cup as beautiful. And write it down in the comments below. What is it that you identified? And I'm curious what you guys identified. Okay, so I see this cup as beautiful because it just has like this little frills, like this thing on the edges that is so it creates kind of like a symmetry in here, and it satisfies the OCD in me. But at the same time, it has a little bit of irregularity, so it tells me that like it's not just perfection, like the perfection is the imperfection, and it's kind of romantic, like these little, it reminds me of nature. Then I love the simplicity of the design. There's white and blue. I love blue color. I love green a lot too, but blue color chose me. I was born with blue eyes, so everything that's blue, it just fits me. And it's just a very, very peaceful color. And butterfly. Butterfly means so much to me. It's a huge symbol of growth, of transformation. And funny enough, my mother was calling me as a butterfly when I was a child. So when I see this cup that is so simple, balanced, and it looks very feminine to me too, that just resonates so much with my inner world. It has these colors that are so interesting. It's super artistic. It kind of like looks a little bit like childish. So it's very innocent. And it says, hello, beautiful. Like it talks to me and it reminds me that I'm beautiful, and it says beautiful on the cup. So it's just a very, very beautiful cup, even though it's very simple, and that's what makes it beautiful. So what have you identified? Did you identify the factors, the means through which I'm perceiving this cup as beautiful, and the factors that influenced me to perceive this cup as beautiful? Write it down in the comment below. So just like now, if you approach everything, that doesn't mean you need to see this cup as beautiful. Maybe you do see it, but in a different way than I do see this cup as beautiful. And that's totally fine. I always see it like this. If somebody's saying something as beautiful, there is something that I don't see, and I'm curious to see that. Now, there is a little bit of a darker side to this topic too, of perception of beauty and trying to understand why somebody sees something as beautiful. And that comes a little bit to like some psychological disorders that mostly like comes to like people who are murderers or like crime committing and stuff like that. That those people see as beautiful some things that normally we wouldn't even want to perceive as beautiful. And that's okay. That actually doesn't mean that you should try to see beauty in those things the way those people do, or you should even try to see beauty in those things. But trying to understand why that person sees something that you would never want to see as beautiful, sees it as beautiful, that's what helps you to grow, because it requires such a deep level of humbleness, curiosity, detachment, and non-judgment to be able to understand why on earth somebody sees something as beautiful, that it will really help you to grow as a person and discover yourself at a new level. And here it comes why it raises your frequency, because on the process, on your journey of discovering beauty and training your muscle of being able to perceive your muscles of perceiving beauty, you're entering some states. And if you don't know about the graph, the pyramid of frequencies, here you go. You can see this one. You can download it also in the description. I have put a link on it. You can Google it. There's so many versions of it. You can take the one that you like. But you can see that there is energy states and like different states of being that correspond to a different frequency of energy. And the lower ones, they're energies that bring us down, that really build a negative momentum. And there is energies and frequencies that are positive and they're entering the expansive state. So you want to stay in higher frequencies so that you can grow, you can expand, you can faster become to the best version of yourself and be content and like invite beautiful manifestations and beautiful experiences and things, like just feel fulfillment in your life. So to grow and expand your consciousness, higher frequencies, and all these states, you enter them on your journey to perceive beauty. So that's a very simple explanation why understanding beauty and working on your ability to perceive beauty raises your frequency. And it also helps you become a better version of yourself, grow as a person. It is also scientifically proven that our brain, when we perceive something that is beautiful, releases hormones of happiness. And happiness is a very high frequency state. And now I'm challenging you to think of a person that you think is absolutely beautiful, gorgeous, and take this video and share it with that person so that he or she can see more of their beauty and be able to see more beauty and perceive more beauty in this world. In the next episodes, we're going to cover more and going to go deeper into this topic. So make sure you subscribe to not miss the next part of this series. And if you really enjoyed this video, make sure you hit thumbs up and hit also the notification bell when you subscribe to make sure you don't miss when I'm posting it. Tomorrow is going to be the next episode. I'm super excited and I hope you're excited too. Please make sure you comment down below the things you have identified from the exercise that we mentioned before in the video, and also any questions or any thoughts that have rose in your head when we spoke right now about this topic, I would love to include it and mention that in the next episode. So, see you tomorrow.